Good morning. Welcome to Sunday morning. I've been thinking this morning about the things that trip me up. Uh, Later today, I think anyway, I'm going to be working on a plumbing issue. I noticed yesterday that I have a slight leak in a joint. Now, I haven't done anything to that joint, but, well, it's there nevertheless. I could let it go, but here's my concern. If I let it go, what will it be like in a week or 2 weeks? What would happen if at 3 o'clock in the morning that thing came apart or burst or sprang a bigger leak? It reminds me of the scriptures that talk about in Solomon that it's the little foxes that spoil the vineyard. In Hebrews, it says, let us lay aside every sin that so easily besets us. Well, what does that mean? Well, what that means is it's the little things that trip us up. It's the broken shoelace. It's the little drip that comes back to haunt us. And I guess what I'm asking and what I'm looking at today is what are the things in your life that so easily trips you up? That if you don't take care of them now, in the beginning of their birth, if you will, or the beginning of their existence, what happens? What happens down the line when you don't deal with them? It's like little resentments, little things that irritate us. What do we do about them? Do we let them fester? Or do we take care of them right away? There's so many things that we use, or at least I use, that help me. It's not always a foolproof way, but, well, it's helpful. One of the things that I use a lot is the serenity prayer. Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, I know sometimes we say in the end, and the wisdom to put them to death, or we have other little sayings that we put on the end of that prayer. But the bottom line is that there's a lot of things that come up in life that, well, they're annoying, but they're not the end of the world. Even this pandemic, as difficult and as frustrating as it is in time, does not stop the gospel, does not stop the good acts of kindness and paying it forward that we so easily can do on a daily basis. I think about the church, and I know there are some who are struggling because, well, the church as they know it isn't meeting, or if it is meeting, it's done so at a very reduced rate. More things are being done online, such as this. But I'm convinced that it's in the everyday life, the meeting of strangers, the meeting of neighbors, the meeting of others in our daily life that the gospel has the best chance of being spread. I've got a friend coming tomorrow to spend some time with, just one friend. And part of what we're going to do is talk about the things that we're struggling with. Why? Well, that's because that's what we do. We talk about those things. We're honest and we're open. It's a relationship that's very positive in that way. The thing is, we can live in isolation. We can live in a way, in a manner that just removes us from others. Or we can find ways of spreading good cheer. I chuckled this morning. If you notice, I've got some wax on my mustache this morning and I've trimmed my beard. And I'm going to go and put a face mask on and nobody will notice. But you know what? I do it anyway because I notice. And that's the point. The little things that can be very annoying to you, well, you shouldn't allow them the life that we give them. Someone shared with me the other day the idea of wearing face masks and how we don't put on makeup or lipstick or other things, like in myself, putting on mustache wax. And this person says, yeah, well, I don't wear my teeth either. And I chuckled. But you know, the thing is that this is a time that we need to find ways to celebrate. Celebrate life, celebrate others, celebrate your own life. So my simple challenge, again, is what are the things, what are the little foxes that get you? What are the things that just set you up for something? What are they? And are you willing to work on those this year? Are you willing to set those aside to focus on the major things that really matter and not the little things? Someone shared with me again yesterday or the other day about an event that just really set them off. Oh, I get it. I do get it. But you know, in the scheme of eternity, it didn't matter. In the scheme of life, it didn't matter. And the person knew that, but it took them a while to calm down. It took them some moments to rehearse and go through it and talk themselves out of the response they wanted to give. Because the response they wanted to give was, well, it was their old nature. And they knew that. They knew that their old nature was coming out, and it was going to come out in vengeance. But they brought it under control. They sat, they calmed down. And you see, again, it's not the big things in life that get us. It's the little things. 2 years ago, I went in and had open heart surgery. And I think about that and how calm I was in the whole process, from the heart catheterization that I had one morning and then the surgery the day after. And I can remember being in the room before I went into surgery, and I was the first one in. And I wasn't thinking about anything. I was watching other things, and I was like, well, Lord, this is life, and this is my life right now. And I accepted that in stride. But you know, it seemed like just a short time later, I couldn't find something that I was looking for. And I was really angry. I was perturbed and I was annoyed that this little thing was lost. And I'm like, how can I go through open heart surgery with such peace and calmness, and such a little thing as this thing was, and I'm all upset about it? Well, that's the way we are. And I get it, and I understand it. But I don't think it's the way we need to be, and I don't think that it's the way we want to be. So again, as we wrap this up this morning, in the Song of Solomon, it says it's the little foxes that spoil the vineyard. It's the little things that break the camel's back. It's the little things that trip us up and cause us to stumble. Again, in Romans, he says that we are to lay aside those sins that so easily beset us, trip us up. So what are you going to do? Are you going to look at those? Are you going to mark those down? Are you going to work on those things this year? It might be a good way of starting off the year, of allowing those things, those irritations, to let them be gone. Then in a little while, I've got to go in and get the parts that I need to fix this dripping pipe. And I can tell you that it's not something I want to do. But you know, if I don't take care of it now, it's going to be a bigger problem later. And that's the whole point of the little foxes and the sin that so easily besets us. It's if we don't take care of it now, well, it's going to come back and bite us later. And so my recommendation, think about this today, would you? Think about the little things that are in your life that you need to take care of. Maybe it's a relationship issue. Maybe it's just something you've been procrastinating about that you just haven't wanted to do. Would you think about that today? Until next time, God bless.